Greetings. Welcome to the Nexus. This video we're going to be entering the world of Aurora. Written and illustrated by Red. Published 2019. A ragtag crew of heroes embark on a journey to rescue a god from an immortal witch. Stop a dragon from breaking the world, and maybe even talk about their feelings once in a while. So in this world, there are gods. Gods are spiritual manifestations of domains. So like, there would be a god of a forest, or a god of a city, for example. A particular god named Vash, whose domain is the city of Vash. One day, this witch is outside the city, sends some monsters in there. Vash comes out to defend it, and then she destroys his city, which is very traumatic for him, and then rips his godhood out of his body and takes it. She's got some stuff she wants to do with it. And that is how the story starts. So the main character isn't Vash. It is the husk that was left behind after his godhood was removed from it. Ends up settling on the name Kendall, and his goal is to track the witch down and gain his godhood back. But he doesn't know stuff like how to sleep, because gods don't sleep. So he's figuring it out. That's, I guess, the best place to start with the story. Yeah, this story in particular has a really large cast. 6 characters in the main cast last time I checked, which is hard to do. Usually 3 or 5 is about where people usually tap out, but these 6 characters, expertly done by Red. All the characters are really unique and kind of an outcast in their own way, and they all have their own trauma that they're trying to get through. The cast kind of coming together gives the feeling of a found family. A lot of it is fueled by Kendall's just kind of genuine appreciation and care for mortals, and he has a level of innocence to him that's very lovable. But I don't want to get too far into each character because this will be a really long video. They're all very lovable. I can't stress that enough. It's important to note the magic system in this world. It's done in a way that I haven't seen before. In the beginning, there were pretty much 6 primordials, and they all were manifestations of water, wind, stone, fire, lightning, and life. They all ended up teaming up to defeat this dragon and sealing it away, but they all died in the process. And they kind of exist in this, light that kind of is cast over the planet, creating the Aurora, which is fun visual, fun metaphorical. People have learned to harness the energies from those spirits and manifest them into the physical world. So it's this global necromancy that's fueling the power system of the world. There are also gods that, as I said, control their domains, like similar to how Vash was, and they have their own power system in place, either socially, physically, politically, that they're trying to navigate as well. So it does feel like when you're reading it, you're stepping into a world that's been put together very intelligently. The feeling and tone of the story, it feels a lot like a fantasy adventure shonen with some really solid characters. Fantasy because of the magic, adventure because of the journey they're on, and shonen because you can tell Red likes the fights. There's a lot of action that goes on. What's different about this story is that it doesn't feel like a power fantasy like a lot of other fantasy stories feel. It feels more like an exploration of the complex emotions and conflicts of a world or an individual. No character is just doing things just because. They all have reasons, and how they come into conflict with each other is what makes the story compelling. Sometimes they get hurt, sometimes they hurt people, sometimes they hurt people they weren't even trying to hurt, and how they deal with those. It's as though Red has an emotional maturity to her, and she kind of understands these characters on a deep level and allows that to come through the story. My favorite part is because no character ever feels irrelevant or like a throwaway character. I've personally shipped everyone in the main cast with every other character in the main cast. And let me clarify, it's not that type of story. It's not the type of story where there's like romantic tension. I don't think there's real genuine love interest, quote unquote. It's more like you can take any 2 characters and make a story just about them, and I would be totally happy. And all of them, all of the 6. I don't know how many combinations that is, but all of them are compelling enough, and their interactions are so interesting that I'd watch just that. And it's exciting when you have characters you care about that much all working together and kind of interacting. It's really hard to pull off, and so I'm very impressed by that accomplishment. The artwork, it definitely feels like it takes some anime influence, and then the color on top helps render it and elevate it even higher than that. But yeah, it's very inspiring in its own way, and I've tried to take reference from Red's technique and try to incorporate it in my own art, and I can confirm it's very difficult. Simple legibility with high rendering, deals with high levels of emotional maturity, larger than normal cast, but nobody feels like a side character. You can read the comic yourself by following the link in the description. This comic is also featured in the card game Scattered Nexus, linked in the description as well. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next world.